Hey folks, Melinda here. I'm in my self-care routine on my morning walk. Quickly, because we're on TikTok here, I am your wounded healer. I've been healing for 35 years, 18 of those. I've been a professional trauma therapist. In the past 5, I've accelerated my growth a lot by getting many advanced trainings. And I am doing these pop-up healing posts. There's a longer version of a pop-up healing event on my YouTube channel, and yeah, everyone needs you always. Again, I'm Melinda Zappone, and this is the first pop-up healing post. And I want to talk to you a little bit about resiliency factors, and specifically a link to the Resiliency Factors self-quiz. Maybe you have heard about holding trauma not only being for qualifying with PTSD. 50 to 60% of us have experienced at least one trauma, and only 3.6% of us qualify for PTSD. So it's really important to understand the holding trauma concept. And so it might be that you have what we call little t trauma, and that doesn't mean your trauma or your emotional baggage is small. It means something more like it's not an event that you can identify. For example, growing up with a bipolar mother who did not treat her mental illness may have, over the course of years, affected you, and the missing bond is almost like a trauma. And therefore, it's important to notice that that might set you up missing resiliency factors for the rest of your life to almost get emotional wounds in a typical way that follows a trauma pattern. So I really want y'all to be aware of resiliency factors and consider taking the quiz, because the little t trauma for all of us may be a certain relational wound as a child that kind of set up your, almost like your neurobiology, to respond to all the relational hurts moving forward in a typical fashion. So I want you to think about it as if it shrunk your bucket to absorb healing resiliency factors moving forward. And therefore, you may be prone to putting a lot of stuff in your bucket without that awareness as if it's going to make me resilient or not. I know for myself, accomplishment seeking without really enjoying the accomplishments were stuffed into my bucket, my small little bucket. And over the course of my healing, I've had to really take better care of that bucket, understand that some self-care practices can kind of expand it, but that it's okay if it actually is shrunken by some of my traumatic experiences, because that gives me a keen awareness of how to take care of myself. Thanks for listening. I'm going to post more pop-ups.